He who wants to be first of all will be last of all and servant of all. Gentlemen, you are in the right place. This is Last in Line Leadership Podcast. I am your host, John Shibley, and I just read you from Mark 9:35. That scripture is all about servant leadership, and that's what we're about here. The podcast that showcases and highlights great leaders of faith, people who have walked the journey of leadership, who have served, who have sacrificed, who have developed discipline, courage, and resilience. You've come to the right place. This is Last in Line Leadership. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. Hope everybody is excited about New Year's, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. If you're like us, you are waist deep in bowl season for college football. And if you're not, bless your heart. We are, and we're excited. We do a little family pool where we put $10 in and play pick a side against the point spread, and it's just a family thing. It's really fun. And of course, yours truly is in the lead, but there's a long way to go. So we are having a good time with family. We're having a good time with the time off from work to recharge, recalibrate, reset. In fact, I almost chose a different topic tonight and call it Control-Alt-Delete because of the reset that we all are taking right now to get ready for next year. But then our good friend Mike Glover posted on his Prepped Life, I guess, title of his podcast this week, Control-Alt-Delete. So I won't be doing that when I don't guess unless I wait a few months. But Mike is a good guy. He has earned the right to take the front on stuff like that, and I will not get in that shadow. So we're going to talk about hunting or being hunted, not in the context of literal in the woods hunting wild animals. I don't do that. That might be one of the regrets in life, that I never really learned and never really invested, never really sought that out. Always been a fisherman. Love to fish. Haven't done that in a while, but feel like I can get right back out there and hunt them down, find the fish. And yeah, it's fun. I think hunting is probably everything the people I know that do it say it is. And it's all it's cracked up to be, certainly for procuring sustenance and feeding your family for long periods of time. But I'm not there. Fishing is more my speed. But tonight we're going to talk about either hunting or being hunted. And we're going to take that into three different contexts. We're going to talk about three edges that you and I need to sharpen for victory in the coming years, not just for New Year's, not just because 2023 is almost over and not because we're resetting, but this could be a foundation for all the years going forward, not just your New Year's resolution-esque type initiative. So we're going to talk about being on the offense, right? We're going to be talking about us pursuing something, us not sitting back, letting things actually come to us, hoping things happen by coincidence or happenstance. We're going to talk tonight about being the hunter, and we're going to be the pursuer, not the pursuee. And I got three areas for you that this is going to pay off in your life. Before I do that, I do want to tell you the reason this came to me is because I started thinking, in light of the vein of football season, I don't know very many teams who have won championships where the offense never scored a point. They say defense wins championships. I guess indirectly defenses shut down the other team, which make it less of a tall order for the offense. Okay, it makes them only have to score a few points if the defense is really good. But nobody wins a game strictly from defense scoring or special teams if you're a football fan, but I digress from that. But I'm just on this point of offense puts butts in the seats. We want to see high scoring games. Major League Baseball proves my point when they changed the seams on a baseball to basically allow for less of a grip by the pitcher. So the pitcher had less command the thinner the seam. They're not as protruding and pronounced to where they can actually put more spin on the ball. They made it to where they could have less control really to incentivize offense, to maybe give an advantage to the batter, to score more runs, to see more home runs. That's what sells tickets. And people don't pay to see teams try not to lose, but they see teams that want to play to win. And you and I really are no different from a figurative standpoint in life. People, we want, we need, the world needs us, the people we serve need us to be offensive, not defensive, not sitting on our hands hoping things work out, leaving it up to coincidence or the luck of the draw. Yeah, sometimes luck does happen, does play a role. But we are meant as men, God created us to be warriors, to be hunters, to be gatherers, providers, protectors. I got 3 scripture that command us, or us as a people, really, to take initiative, be on the pursuit. First one's in Luke 9:23, where Jesus says, if anyone will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. Take up your cross. That doesn't suggest someone's handing it to you. That doesn't suggest it's going to just fall in your lap. Take up the cross. Jesus said to the paralytic, right? He said, rise, take up your bed and walk. Take up. That is the command that says, you do it. Grab a hold. Grab life, okay? Take charge. Take the initiative. Ephesians 6, take up the whole armor of God that you may be able to resist in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Take up the whole armor. Not just fall into the armor, someone dress you in the armor. The armor magically jumps up onto your body. It says you grab, you put on, you take the initiative. So that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm not going to apologize for beating that dead horse, because we as men, there's too many Christian men who are sitting around waiting for someone else to do it. Fill in the blank on whatever do it means. You fill in that blank, but we got a lot of guys sitting around looking at other people doing things. I've been guilty of it. Sometimes we think it's beyond our scope, beyond, maybe it's not our business, or it's might come at the sacrifice of something else that we view as priority. But I would say, and I'm talking to myself, it's time to step out a little bit. Get out on the edge a little further. Speaking of edge, this is part of the title, 3 edges to sharpen for victory for us, because it's either hunt or be hunted. I don't know about you, but I don't like the idea of me sitting around waiting for someone to find. I hated hide and seek. Okay. I hated having to hide and just wait and hope somebody didn't find me. Like, I want to be the guy searching, hunting, pursuing a target. We could put that in a spiritual context, which we're going to. We're going to put it in a professional context, and we're going to put it in a physical context. So I've got those 3 edges for you. We could go mental context and mindset and all that, but I want to give you maybe some tangibles and more hard skills than more than soft skills. And I know that spiritual edge could be considered a soft skill, but I think it's a very hard skill that needs to be refined, sharpened, and strengthened. And that's going to be our last one. I'm going to save the best for last. but I've got three for you. The physical edge is what we're talking about first. We're going to sharpen the physical edge, and we've got to take that initiative. We got to get on the offense. We can't continue to hope that we lose that weight. Or if maybe if I cut out one meal that and don't exercise, maybe I'll drop a few pounds. Or maybe if I eat an apple once a month, that might do it. That's not taking a stance of proaction, proactivity, offense. That's waiting for something you want to happen instead of creating an environment and having a plan and taking action for it to happen. Obesity will find you. Muscles will deteriorate. Weak flabbiness will find you if you aren't pursuing strength, if you're not pursuing fitness and health, if you're not pursuing physical capability. Men, who else but us is for that task? Who is required but us to be the physical dominance in a situation, in an environment, in a circumstance that you hope never happens? But that's what I'm saying. We've got too many guys that hope it doesn't happen or that think it won't happen to them. Guys need to stay capable physically. You know this. I bet everybody listening to this is physically capable, is intentional about their fitness and their strength, is taking it seriously that they have people to serve and protect. Are you going to wait for the police to show up? Are you going to wait for somebody bigger and stronger to step in? Are you going to wait for the government to keep evil off your doorstep? You're going to be waiting a while. And in the meantime, you're going to be putting the people you care about at risk, and yourself at the very least. The physical edge has to be sharp. We've got to be on the offense. We've got to start calling our own plays. And we can't just wait for the wind to blow us in a direction that makes us stronger, better, more capable. People depend on us, and they're not looking at us to wait to be better. They're not looking at us for the reasons that say that we're going to sit back and hope it's okay. They're looking at us because who else is going to take care of them? So that's the physical edge. That's the first one. I mean, we've got to take an offensive stance there. I mean, you've got to draw up the plays. You know, to keep in line with the football theme, draw up the plays. You're the offensive coordinator, right? You're on the field. You're calling the plays. You're touching the ball every down. So it's up to you. You've got to devise a plan to pursue that thing that's the enemy. There's always going to be an enemy. There's always going to be a competitor. There's always going to be opposition or resistance. So whatever that is in the physical realm, that could be your own body. That could be your family history. Maybe you've got some heart disease in your family or diabetes. You're up against it, right? You're fighting a battle double somebody else's battle. But that's your opposition. That's your opponent. But you got to devise a plan and be proactive on the offense to defeat that opponent. Obesity, weakness physically, that's your competition. You're competing against the weaker version of yourself. And if you don't stand up and take initiative and make a plan and execute the plan when it comes to physical strength and endurance, you will lose the fight to the weaker version of you. And then you wake up someday and look at yourself in the mirror in disgust, and then wonder why you're breathing heavy walking up the stairs, and then wondering why you can't carry more than one bag to the car if your family's going on a trip. Your wife has to carry two. Then you're wondering, what happened? How did I get here? Well, now's how you keep that from happening. Get on offense, draw the plays, take initiative, pursue that. Okay? Pursue that weaker version of you and conquer it. Be victorious. That's your physical edge. That's number one. Number two is your professional edge. Someone's going to have the edge in your company, in your business, on your team. Whatever job you do, someone is going to have a competitive edge on everybody else. It might as well be you. If you sit around and wait for the boss to ask you to do something, or you sit around and think that old Joe next to you is going to just take care of it, that he's always been the butt kisser, he's just going to do it. If old Sally is always the one having input and suggestions in the meeting, you're just going to sit back and let them talk because you just rather the meeting be over with. You're the guy. You're the one sitting around while the competition out hustles you. And then you wonder at the end of the year why you aren't getting a raise, why you're not getting promoted, why you didn't make any bonuses. You never made employee of the month. Of course you didn't. Why would you? Would you have picked you? We're too busy being on the passive side. We're too busy being on the side of, I don't really care. I'm just trying to punch a clock, get a paycheck. Yeah, I'm not saying everybody's got to run the race to get to the top of the ladder and be promoted and be at the CEO of every organization. But guess what? If you're a Christian and you're in leadership, that gives you a little more of a voice, doesn't it? People look at you and say, I wonder how he did that. Wonder why he's so successful. Not that you're taking the credit, but it opens a door for you to have a conversation that says, look, God's grace is good. His favor is good. I pray every day. I work hard. I pursue excellence. And he's blessed me because I'm honoring what he's given me. I'm stewarding. So he's honoring me. That's biblical. I don't care who you are. It's not about meager circumstances and I'm more spiritual if I'm more broken, or if I'm just the bottom of the ladder, the bottom of the food chain, God, that's extra points in heaven. God smiles on me because I'm lowly and broken. That's not how this works. And if you think it is, you probably have spent a life at the bottom and the back of the line, and you're also going to continue to be there. Who's coming to you for a witness? Who's going to find out from you that the gospel means good news? If they're looking at you, they think gospel means bad news. So let's be the good news by living that and taking initiative in our job. I'm guilty because sometimes I plateau, I get burnt out, I lose the passion or the fire that maybe I started the year with about, I don't know, May or June, the summer blue starts kicking in. I get a little antsy. I want to take some time off, right? I get a little lazy. Of course we do. I'm not saying I'm 12 months, 365 on full tilt, full blown fifth gear, pedal down, but I am most of the time because I want to represent excellence, because I want God to get the glory. And this year it's going to pay off. I'm finally going to win something, I think. And guess what? Anybody asks, I'm going to say, look, worked hard, had some good things go my way, but most of all, God answers prayer and God is faithful. Boom. That's it. Because I couldn't do this on my own. And so, I don't know, in your job, it takes initiative to pursue excellence. It doesn't just find you. Okay. Have you ever panned for gold? I don't know if you have. I have. Long time ago. Once. I've done it once. But there's a lot of details that go into it that I don't know. But panning for gold, basically, for dummies, is you get in the stream, wherever, Colorado is where I went, and you get a bunch of water and silt and sediment and rocks and all kinds, and then you have a sifter and you sift it, okay, and it funnels out all the bad sediment, and then you're left with the gold, right? Well, you're going to be that sediment that gets sifted out if you're not taking initiative, if you're not on the offense, if you're not pursuing excellence. Your job and life will sift you out, and you will just fall by the wayside like that sediment that is worthless, really. And then the gold that's left in that pan that basket is really the cream that rises to the top. And that's the people around you at work that you've been watching get the pay raise, get the promotion, that you're wondering, why does the boss like them more? What is it that why didn't he like me? It's always somebody else's fault, right? It's you're not taking the initiative. I've been there, but you got to out hustle the competition, and everybody's competition. If you look at it that way at your job, professional, right? That's what we're on, the professional edge. If you're looking at that, yeah, they're your teammates. Yes, you work together. Yeah, you need each other. But ultimately, if you're in any sort of competitive environment, that competition is healthy. But if you don't see them as that, you're going to sit back and just kind of let the wind take you and let the current kind of push you downstream. And meanwhile, everybody else is climbing to the top of the hill because they saw it differently than you did. And they took the initiative. They got on offense, started calling their own plays. Doesn't mean you have to just be out for you and screw everybody else. I'm talking about being ethical, having integrity, character, doing things the right way, of course. But you've got to get that inner fire at your job to pursue excellence, all for the glory of God, and so that you can be that person that people look to. Because the world needs more of us men that are Christian men, that aren't passive, that aren't weak, that people want to follow. They need more of us. So that's number 2, professional edge. Okay. Again, 3 edges to sharpen for victory, because it's either hunt or be hunted. And in the professional environment, if you're not on the offense, if you're not taking the initiative and you're not running without being told to run, you're the hunted. And people will pass you by. People will take what's yours. They will take your promotion, your pay raise, your accolades, your recognition. Someone will step in. You will be sifted out, like that sediment I talked about. All right, number 3 is the best. Save the best for last. Last but not least, the spiritual edge. And we talk about it because it's important. We talk about it on every episode because it's important. What's more important than your spirit, your soul, the way you represent the kingdom and what God has sacrificed so that you and I could have what we have and be where we are in a time such as this? And you've got to play offense in the spiritual game too, guys. I talked about this at almost nauseum, that we're in a spiritual battle. The Bible talks about it. We're at war spiritually in the supernatural realm. And to avoid it with this passive apathy and to brush it under the rug and ignore it and not acknowledge it as if it were just this something off in, Xanadu land and a fairy tale, doesn't change that it's truly coming for you. And the more you do for God, the bigger target you have on your back in the spiritual realm. I got to say, if you're apathetically passive and you don't think that there's a game going on out there, then you are a sad person to represent God's kingdom, because you are not taking the fight to the enemy. The enemy's coming at you. Things are just happening to you, to your family. You're sitting back wondering, why is this happening? Poor me, pity party. Why am I always at the bottom of the totem pole? Why is it always happening to us? Why am I so unlucky? If I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. I think I've actually said those words. I mean, I'm convicted of that. Jeez, I don't know why I would, but I have said that. But if you're always on your heels and you're on roller skates in life, backing up all the time, trying to play not to lose instead of playing to win, enemy looks at you as an easy target. It won't be too hard to shove you over. Just kind of blow on you and everything collapses. You're a house of cards that's just waiting on one little breeze. And I'm sure if this is you that I'm describing, you can go down through your life and say, yeah, I feel like everything's happening. I feel like Job. and I, hats off to Job for not ever trading in his faith and turning on God. But that could be you, and you could be avoiding some of that by taking the bull by the horns. Okay. Taking life by the you know what, and play offense. I I mean, I know that there's a world out there that doesn't like assertive men, doesn't like the misogynistic, toxic masculinity, and um, we are meant to be assertive. We are meant to be an aggressor in certain environments. We guys are meant to drive the bus. I'm not saying that your wife can't drive the bus sometime. I'm saying in life in general, especially in this spiritual realm, we are to be driving with God directing. Okay. He's not just going to do everything for us. It takes us getting involved, taking initiative, pursuing righteousness, pursuing excellence. And I remember, I mean, when I wrote this book that I keep talking about, my latest book, Operation 333, about spiritual warfare, I was taking a lot of body blows spiritually. I was taking a lot of lead spiritually, and the enemy was at my, in my kitchen, figuratively, daily. And I was allowing it because I just kind of sloughed it off and thought I'll be fine. And then just kind of let my flesh uh, maneuver that situation for a while, and kind of just go off on a tangent or have a short fuse, quick anger. I mean, I would say things and be very defensive in a confrontational way, and started realizing this is not healthy. I felt, like there was a poison in my body, but it was all because I was kind of sitting back, just saying, poor me. Why is this happening to me? Everybody's against me. And then when God gave me that vision of Operation 333 and that quick little jot down the lies, counter with truth, stand up, like the scripture said earlier, take up my sword, right? Take up all of the armor of God, take up my cross, follow him, right? Take up, be on the offense, actually reach out and grab it, take a step forward, be in control of my own destiny in this regard. It started to kind of be, everything started to kind of crystallize. I started understanding that, okay, I'm not meant to be this way. I'm not designed to be defeated by a spiritual enemy. I've already won through Christ. Here's how I fight: armor of God, prayer, other guys, godly counsel. So I started engaging in the warfare, started engaging in battle, started actually calling some plays, playing to win, not just playing not to lose. It's a game changer. It made all the difference. But it took me catching the situation before it got out of control, realizing this is not me. I'm not called for this. I'm not designed for this. God made me better than this. And I took it and ran with it. And then, now you have the book that I published, and people are having some really good feedback, and it's helping some folks. So this is my encouragement to you. It's hard, okay? Don't lose heart in the battle when you're doing good. Galatians 6:9. I just paraphrase that in the Shibley version. But it's going to be hard. There's going to be attacks. There's always a competition and an opposition. And we're not designed to sit back and hope it gets better, to sit back and wait for someone else to do it, to take care of it, for someone else to protect and provide, for someone else to be strong and capable, for someone else to pursue excellence at work. We're not wired that way. The manufacturer's guide, okay, the owner's manual, being the Bible, tells you that. Page after page tells you. The promises of God tell you that you're not wired that way. Neither am I. So let me recap, okay? because it's all about choice. You either be hunted or you be the hunter. And you either are on the pursuit or you are being pursued. And I don't want to be that. I don't want to be on the X. So get off the X. Reverse it. It's never too late. Take the controls, take the initiative, call the plays, be on offense. First one, okay, 3 edges to sharpen for victory. The first one was physical edge. Take control of your own body. Take control of your future right now. It starts now. It's never too late. Create that voluntary hardship. Go into the strength training, resistance training, push your body, break it down, let it heal, do it again, and then add more weight. Professional edge, number 2, go to work, out hustle the competition. Don't wait for your boss to ask you to do something. Don't wait for a title to be a leader. Don't sit back and complain and blame and point fingers at other people. Go take control of your life at your job. Second or third one, spiritual edge. Play offense. We're in a war. Whether you acknowledge it or not, doesn't change it. Whether you get in the fight and engage or not, doesn't change the fact that you will be the prey. And I'd rather be the predator. So I encourage you, be the hunter, not the hunted. With that, Happy New Year. Be blessed.